Now, the second Women's Premier League auctions is around the corner, and the bidding war will begin on Saturday at 3 p.m. in the afternoon in India's financial capital, Mumbai. 5 franchises are gearing up for the auction: Mumbai Indians, Delhi Capitals, UP Warriors, Gujarat Giants, and Royal Challengers Bangalore. Now, the WPL is hailed as a game changer for women's cricket. After a successful debut this year, the hype for the tournament's second edition is real. It is expected to start in February or March in 2024. Now, as many as 165 players will go under the hammer. Out of those, 104 are Indian cricketers and 61 are overseas players, out of which 15 come from our associate nations. Now, the 5 teams have a total of 30 slots available, out of which 9 are reserved for overseas players. Gujarat Giants are all set to flex their financial muscle as they will enter the auction holding the highest salary cap. That's around 6 crore rupees, or roughly over $700,000. The defending champions Mumbai Indians will have the least amount, around 2.1 crores or little over $250,000. This is, of course, on the basis of the number of players released and their worth for each of these franchises. Now, let's look at the most promising players who would be in demand come Saturday. These are the 5 players I think we will have to watch out for. Number 1, we have Shabnim Ismail. Now, this former South African pacer was released by UP Warriors, and the move came as a bit of a shock. The inaugural IPL auction saw some intense bidding. She ended up being bought for a whopping 1 crore rupees, or nearly $120,000 in the last edition. Ismail only played 3 matches and claimed 3 wickets. Given the fact that she is South Africa's highest women's wicket taker, and after her deadly performance in the Women's Big Bash League and the Women's 100 tournament, she will surely be in high demand. And teams will look to seize the opportunity to secure her. Next up for me is one of my favourites, Sri Lankan captain Chamari Athapaththu. This power-packed player is fiery. Surprisingly, she found no team bidding for her last season, but with the way she's performed and has led her side this year, she could be a prime target. Chamari won the Player of the Series award also in the recently concluded WPL in Australia and posted more than 500 runs, which is the second highest in the season. So the stakes are indeed high and the excitement is through the roof for this player. At number 3 is India's Devika Vaidya. Now, this all-rounder may have had an underwhelming numbers in the 2023 edition of the Women's Premier League, but she will look to turn the tables this time around. The UP Warriors punched a hole in their own pockets last season to buy her. She was sold for about 1.4 crore rupees, so that's nearly $170,000, but was released this time. Devika was also a part of India's Asian Games gold medal winning squad, and that really makes her a very, very good candidate. Now, the next person on my list is Garth from Australia. Now, she played for the Gujarat Giants in the first edition of the Women's Premier League and claimed 11 wickets in total. This all-rounder became the second player to register a 5-wicket haul. This was against UP Warriors, where she claimed a fifer for 36 runs. She's also the only player, along with West Indies all-rounder Deandra Doughton, to have a base price of 50 lakh rupees. That's the highest reserve price. Now, the last one for me is Annabel Sutherland, another Aussie all-rounder. She played in 4 matches in the last edition, but later went places in the Women's Big Bash League, where she picked up 23 wickets and smashed close to 300 runs, the most for Melbourne Stars. Her maiden Test century came during the Ashes during Australia's win in Nottingham. The inaugural edition of the Women's Premier League saw Mumbai Indians, that was led by Harmanpreet Kaur, brush aside Delhi Capitals, captained by Meg Lanning, in the final. It was Gujarat Titans who finished at the bottom of the table. They will look to enter the competition with a fresh perspective. The franchise released a total of 11 players from their team in a bid to overhaul its squad. They have a total of 10 available slots to fill in, including an overseas player. Meanwhile, Delhi Capitals have retained most of their members, which means they are happy with their core unit. They have retained some of their best players like Meg Lanning, Jemima Rodriguez and Shafali Verma. Some other notable performers will also be a few who let their skills do the talking in the India-England series. Someone like England's Danny Wyatt. No takers in the first season, but now with that fiery 47-ball 75, will be hedging for recency bias to get herself picked.